Hello YouTubers, welcome to the signal box today. Just joining me for a very quick video, briefly just to give you an update on my re-signalling project for my model railway, Little Beddington. So this morning I've started to install the signals which came yesterday. So I've got, as you can see, what I've done, I've drilled through the baseboard, and then I've put the ones that have got a double signal on, i.e. the junction signals. They require a servo unit, which is this thing here, as we saw in the previous video. So the hole's been bored through the baseboard, locking nuts in place, the unit's in place, just needs to be soldered up. I've got one there that's been drilled through the baseboard, locking nut in place, so that's attached. Where else? If we come down here onto the ground floor, as it were, we've got one there as well. As you can see, the switch is there and the servo unit's there ready to be wired up. And I'm going to extend those switches, by the way. I've just left them on there, but what I'm going to do, actually, believe it or not, excuse my finger, I'm going to lop off these wires round about halfway midpoint, cut them there, so we've still got the wired switch end. The camera's gone blurry, apologise. Basically, yeah, cut these wires about there, midpoint. Then we get to keep the rest of the wire physically connected to the switch, and then we can just, the gap that's in between the cut point, we can just extend with some wire, and then we can put these out on the control point side. So that's what I'm going to do with these switches, just basically cut them in half and keep the wired end with the switch on, and then just extend the bit in the middle with some wire, and that way we keep the original switches and the wired connection as well, without going too complicated. So we've done that bit, and if we come over here, we got a signal there, that's that bit, and then down the bottom we've got 3 signals there. And again, I've just got to basically sort out the wiring now and all that, but all the physical hard work is done. That's the hard work, getting them in. And it was a little bit of a mare this morning because the baseboard was fighting me all the way, because obviously I did this with the baseboard standing upright vertically, so you don't have the luxury of climbing underneath it. But then again, this is actually a nice way to work, because you haven't got to bump your head when you're underneath the baseboard. You can just do it this way. But we got there in the end. Yeah, so that's all that done. I've just basically just got to wire up now. That's the next big job. I've got some wire, and if you come over here just a second, and my bed looks like a workshop, doesn't it? Or things you do for the hobby. Anyway, look guys, look at this. I'll show you a couple of things. I got these off Amazon, which are push button switches that are pre-wired. These are for the single post signals. Yeah, I did get some of these just in case. I got a pack of these momentary toggle switches just in case, but they're there for another day, I think. And obviously we've got some wire in the box here. Got quite a lot of this stuff, got quite a lot of it, so that will do for our little jobby. Excellent. It's great for also wiring up points as well, by the way. Yeah, that's it. So that's all the wiring, not so much the wiring, guys, but all the drilling and fitting bit done today. I wanted to get that out of the way because I'm a busy man this weekend. I've got to go and do a little bit of cable work somewhere else. But anyway, I got that bit out of the way today, so I'm quite happy about that. So good, well happy. So yeah, so that's that. Okay, so I will leave you with that. And again, you won't see me maybe for a week or two, because I'm going to try and get this all done, but it's going to be a pretty big task because I've got to really get this wiring sorted out. And I've also, the way it's going to work is all the signal power feeds will all go up through these lightning holes, these round holes. They'll all come through here at some point, then they'll come out this end, which I've pre-drilled some holes. This is for the power source, so all the signals will go into these terminals here. There's about 8 of them, or about, yeah, 7 in total. And we'll say 8 because you've got the odd bracket signal. So anyway, there's enough slots on here. I've counted them. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got enough spare on there, so if you minus one of the equation, because one's already connected, so yeah, 7. So we got, let's have a look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 8 spare terminals to play with, and I only need 7, so that's spotty on. That's good. That leaves us a crafty one spare, so we might use that. Okay, watch this space. But anyway, that's the power source coming through here, guys. This is where the power for the signals are going to go. And then I've got a probably, I didn't really want that in the way there, but it's okay. We won't worry too much about that, because what I'll do is, I reckon, about here. Here's a good point. Maybe here, or maybe even, I don't know, maybe up there even. But along here, I'm going to drill a couple of holes for a large slot, like a rectangle size slot. Make that a rectangle shape, because there'll be quite a lot of wires coming through that, which are going to be our control wire setup. That will come through here. They'll end up in terminal blocks, much like this idea. All the control for the signal will go into, or the controls for the signal, should I say, go into this terminal block here. And this will be the control wire side. This will be for all the movements of the signal. It will end up in a terminal block similar to this. And then from this side, this will go to our new signal panel, which I'm going to design and build, which all the push buttons and switches will all be fixed into. I've got some balsa wood up there. As you can see on top of my wardrobe, I've got quite a bit of it. So I'm going to design and sit and build a signal panel for all that lot to go in, all the push buttons and stuff. In the meantime, I'll just show you my little mimic diagram that I came up with the other day, which is this. So apologies, I know it's a little bit crude, but I can just see on this diagram what switch will do what signal, and I've got everything on there. I've even given the points a number, A and B end, obviously like the real thing, and roughly the positions of the signals where they are. So I know number 6 lever will do number 6 signal, and number 5 lever will do number 5 signal, and so on. I've done a little bit of an alteration with the signalling. I've taken a few liberties on 2 occasions with the install. I've the signal at the end of the platform, which is bi-directional on the inner track, obviously it goes to the depot, so obviously it's got to be bi-directional. What I've done, normally the old junction signal used to be outside the box, one for the main line and one for the spur into the outlet for the depot. What I've done, I've resighted that signal much better, so it's more realistic, because there's no point in having a home signal at the start the signal at the platform, and then less than 100 yards having another signal doing the same thing and one telling you to go into the siding. You might as well resight that signal properly and have it doing this function as it should be. So in technical terms, I've resighted the signal. I'm not going to show you that right now. You'll have to wait for the operational reveal, but I think you'll like it. It looks nicer anyway. What else did I do? That's number 8 signal, which is on the diagram there, which is it was an advanced distance signal, but we got rid of the distance signal. We swapped it for a home signal, because it is really a home signal. It's the outer home for the station. So the outer home signal is now sighted a little bit back further towards the crossover. Those 2 red dots with the line going through them, the black line going through them, next to 20A and 20B points, that's not there, but on the diagram it is, because they're going to be ground shunt signals, because obviously with a crossover you want ground shunt signals. D on the diagram stands for diamonds, and yeah, the little rectangle red coloured box with the line and a dot, that's the official signal box symbol on a diagram, on an actual signal panel, and on a signalling diagram that tells you that denotes a signal box. So you've got A box, B box and C box, and over there is the main. I've done split it into 2 sections, by the way. If you can follow my little diagram, it's split into 2 sections. So on the top half of the diagram you've got the station area with the loop and the startlers 1, 2 and 3, and then number 4 signal, which does the other side of the bi-directional platform. And in the lower half of the diagram we've just got the control side of the layout, with the connection to the depot, and obviously the crossover and points that side. Anyway, that's just so I know what does what, but just for reference for my eyes, and in the future videos we can have a little look at that. It's all got to be built, by the way. I've got to put this into a panel, I've got to put a diagram, I've got to make up a diagram board, there's all sorts to do. So the next few weeks, or maybe the next 2 weeks, I'm swapping roles. I'm no longer train crew, I'm S&T now, so Signal and Telecommunications Department, Signal and Telegraph. I used to call them something else, something in twigs. I'm not going to say the first word because there's children watching this video, maybe. Anyway, I'm going to get cracking. I've got to go. I've got to tidy this lot up, and yeah, that's that. But I just thought I'd share what I've done so far. And again, is a lot to do. There is loads. This is going to be a true test of my soldering power to do all this. I'm sure I'll do it, but anyway. Right, I love you and leave you. See you in the next one. Stay safe. Have a lovely weekend, by the way. And a big hello to my normal subscribers and viewers and all that good stuff. Take care, guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye.